Morning, everyone.
Well, good morning, beautiful. The plan is we're gonna start combining later today, but we gotta get a few things set up. Like this auger. Should go over that, shouldn't it? See what it looks like when it gets up there. Hello down there. For some reason, Dad wants to take this lid off because he thinks it's in the way. This hole's like 3 feet around. I don't understand why. Because what's gonna happen is, this is gonna fall off, it's gonna get ran over, and then we're gonna have a makeshift bend lid for the next 10 years. Is that lid gonna be in the way?
Bring it back and see what it does.
Okay.
It usually bangs on the thing.
Well, this auger's a lot longer than our old one. I think there should be plenty of clearance there, Dad. Welcome to Harvest Stress, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing burnout.
There you go, hippie boy. You're learning now.
I like to work.
Dude, I'm tired of working, man.
Before we put any grain in a bin, we always make sure that our inside doors are shut, which these are, but I also want to climb inside here. There we go. We need to make sure that our sweep is on the correct side of this little blocker gate, because if it's not, the sweep's not gonna work. Dude, this bin feels so small now. Normally we'd have the auger set up in this area, but the bin guys are working over there, so they need to be able to have access to this. So we're trying to get a new spot right now. We got everything cleared out of here. We should have plenty of room to turn a semi around down there, so I think this is gonna work. This will be our first time running this 13-inch Westfield auger. 11,000 bushels an hour. It's gonna be nice. I think anyway, because I don't know yet. Dad just called, said Cooper hopped in the combine. I'm gonna run down to the corner, block traffic to make sure no one can get through. We have to go down the road with the 45-foot head on right now because our trailer hasn't came in. Boogity, 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 boys! Yes, blocking traffic. They grow up so fast. Why aren't you smiling?
Don't you always hate it when you're going down the road and you're that guy that's in the vehicle and then there's some big wide vehicle combine in your way and you can't get around it and it just torques you off?
First day of harvest, you usually don't get a whole lot done because you spend a lot of time just messing with adjustments on the machine, and since this machine's brand new to us, we're probably gonna have to spend some extra time doing that, but we're over here on tabletop. We like to start on this farm because it's nice, flat, easy to get to know your machine on. Don't have to worry about dips, rocks, that kind of stuff. Trying to get our sieves adjusted right now, then we'll fire this up, go a little ways in here. Now we have some auto steer calibrations we need to get done, vibration calibrations, weight calibrations, all that other good stuff. But we're here.
How to be a superior combine operator manual.
I'm gonna let the boys get all that figured out, and then after they figure it out, they can tell me and they can just have it set and then I can just drive it.
The rotor speed need to be set at 3.
And the gearbox, yep, 3.
Okay.
First pass. Oh my goodness, that is so wide. Here we go, guys. 45 feet, but we gotta figure out how to make our spreaders go a little wider because we're getting a really big trash buildup in the center, and then on the edges, not as much. Corn will have a harder time growing through that thick mat of residue next year, so we want to get it spread nice and even. Bean. Yeah, what do we got to adjust there? We got a few beans on the ground.
You know, you're gonna get a little shatter, but otherwise you could lower the fan speed and then make sure your sieves are wide enough that it ain't going over the sieve.
Look at that. It's like a big old leaf blower.
There's enough greenness in the stems, and this is what I mean by the stems. In here is just a little green yet, so it makes it just a little, pull a little harder, but all the pods are super dry. Speaking of dry, I'm really thirsty and I could use a glass of water or lemonade or orange juice.
Look at Dad over there being a professional cameraman. I feel like we should be able to get a wider spread than that. It's leaving probably 7.5 feet on each side. We're only like 30 foot wide on our spread. It looks kind of thick in the middle. New to this, guys, if you got one of these combines, how do I make this wider? We have the speed cranked up to 750. We have them angled all the way out. Are we missing something, or is that all we got?
It's 1:30 in the afternoon and I'm hungry. Even though we're starting beans, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go home and eat here in a little bit or I'm gonna become a bone. That reminds me of that song. I don't remember how it goes. Bony fingers, bony fingers. What do you get if you don't eat lunch? Bony fingers.
We don't have any trash over here. Header loss actually looks fairly minimal. We're seeing beans every now and again on the ground off the head, but these beans are really dry. They're probably 11% or so. So if the reel hits them just right or something, they can just fly open. They're basically just ready to shoot out of the pod. Sounds like Pete Youngblood's gonna come out and help us get everything calibrated. Cooper's gonna get opening stuff up. Before we fill this, we need to make sure that the scales on our monitor here are all zeroed out. There's some sort of auto tracking with this, so when you fill, it monitors how much weight you have in there, and then when you turn your PTO on, it logs that every time the PTO is turned on, so you know exactly how many bushels get put out every time, and then it connects to an app on your phone, so then now we can double check our yield monitor with scale tickets from this. Since we're taking everything home this year and don't have a scale we can drive on, this is gonna work pretty slick, because otherwise you gotta kind of guess how many bushels you have in a bin based off how many rings it is up and the diameter, and there's a whole calculation for it, and it gives you a close ballpark, but I want to know exact. See if we can fit beside here, kind of a tight fit. All right, first dump. That dump's so fast.
Kind of showing you the bean head going through the field with the carrier wind system. Prairie? Prairie. I guess it's called Prairie. Prairie. It's an air bar on our system. We'll show you the name of it later. Just beaning, and I'm getting hungry. It's probably after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My stomach is programmed for 12 to 12:15.
Bins are looking good. Say bye to the aluminum, guys. That's not sketchy at all. Told you guys, the first day of harvest is kind of a big run around mess of a day, but we got the field opened up, got about 500 bushels harvested, went and ate lunch. I just grabbed the Agfinity hotspot, got it laying in that box down there. Sounds like Pete Youngblood just showed up, so he's getting a bunch of calculations and whatnot figured out while he's waiting on me to get this, so that way we can sync everything up to the cloud, then we can get it on our phones and on the apps and all that good stuff. More farming talk, goose! Not gonna lie, I wish we could get that to spread out a little more. I don't like how it's leaving those streaks. What do we do? Oh yeah, these stems are still green. Oh hey, we left a bean. Some years, the beans literally grow right to the ground, kind of like this, but they'll cluster up down here at the bottom of the plant. You don't have any choice but to leave them because you can't get your bean head low enough. Come on, Pete, run me over. You won't. You've never been around bean dust before. It's incredibly fine. And it hangs in the air forever. Is there a P-Tith Youngblood in there? Yeah, I got a pizza delivery. Pete, I don't really know how to do it, but I don't think that's the seat.
Oh, you don't? I just kind of like to hide in small areas sometimes.
Was that the new Richard Mill?
Look.
Hey, look what the cat drug in. Get her calibrated in.
Steers like a champ.
Okay, how do we unfold this thing? Is it this one? No, that's the slide gate. Okay, number 1, slide gate. Number 2 is the spout. 3 is the tip. Okay. So 1 and 4. 4 must flip her up. There we go. This grain cart can unload at 850 bushels a minute, so I can overfill the semi extremely quickly.
All right, boss. Well, the next step is to get you hooked up with card ace and make sure things are working right.
Well, I don't have
because
GPS.
The satellite is white.
I got one up there?
Nope. So you gotta have a receiver in order to get GPS.
Ah, silly goose, you don't belong here. Our neighbor right there brings manure out on this field, and when he's scooping into where he has his manure, sometimes he accidentally picks up chunks of concrete and throws them in his manure spreader. And that's how those end up out here. I want everyone to imagine in a house that has an air conditioner or a furnace, the grate that's on the side of the wall that blows the air. Imagine there's one of those on the floor and it's big enough that you can stand on. Essentially the way the combine works is all of these soybeans are pulled into the combine and then they get rattled and then it knocks the beans out, and then all of those beans and the trash that's not the bean, everything included here, passes over the top of that air grate that we're standing on. So if we have the air pressure underneath the grate set right, the soybeans are heavy enough so they'll fall down into the grate and they'll be collected, but the rest of the trash is too light. That air keeps it from falling down in the holes of the grate, so it gets blown out of the back of the combine. That stuff that gets blown out of the back of the combine is what we see here. I'm gonna see what kind of job we're doing. seeing just a few more beans on the ground than I would like. Got one there, yeah. Losing a lot of beans. So I'm gonna have Cooper adjust those sieves. We're gonna open them up a little bit more. So hopefully we can let a little more beans fall in. I believe the rule of thumb is if we take a square foot and we clear everything off, if we find 5 beans in it, that's a bushel. And we definitely have more than 5 right here. Hey, do you wanna open up your sieves some more? We're spitting quite a few beans out the back.
Okay.
All right, we got to get another semi over to Cole. So we're gonna bring a little red here. This little squirt may not have the most power in the world, but it does get you from A to B.
Hey, white semi's full, and here's Dad with the red one. First semi off this field. Cooper said it's averaging 79 bushels to the acre on the monitor right now. Still got probably 80 acres to go over here, so a lot changed between then, but hopefully it goes up. 79's our record, actually. Oh, forgot to put the globe on this. My auto steer wasn't working in the grain cart. There, auto steer unlocked. What is the deal here? You adjust it, it looks good. You look back 20 minutes later, got all sorts of beans on the ground again. Then we drive forward 100 yards, and this is really pretty clean under here. So I'm not really sure what's all going on.
Hey, we are gonna try this new Westfield auger here. This thing's a 13-inch, 84 feet long, but it's got a swing auger, so I don't have to get underneath there and trying to pull it around. I just stand here, act like I know what I'm doing, push a button. Look at that. And I suppose I went way over too far. Are you kidding me? No. No! Oh yeah, we got plenty of length. We're long. I like this. Oh, I like this. We're running the tractor about 1900 RPM. Let's get this thing started. This is a brand new auger. First time it's ever been used.
I think it's that we're running into so many variable plants throughout the field. These ones down here are really green. Look how green that is. It's wet. Smells like I just got done mowing grass. But the soybeans are testing around 10%. Sometimes you can make all the setting adjustments you want on the combine, and there's only so much you can do, and sometimes you're just gonna have some going out the back. So we're gonna monkey with this a little more. I just don't know what to do. It's so variable. I've never combined in green stemmed beans before. It's always been brown. Just a weird year.
I think we're ready to go get another load again out of the field. Once it gets dark over here, it might be a little hard to get in here. I don't know yet. Rolling. I was just riding with Cole and went to unload the auger wagon and it goes ding, and killed the tractor. And I said, hey, what happened? I forgot to close the trap. Well, then he closes the trap and going across the field, the beans packed down. So now we got to open the trap so we don't shear a bolt. You want to be the one to Hall of Fame?
I guess.
Or Hall of Shame, Shame of Hall, whatever it's called. Oh man, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 145, 150, 160, 165, 167, 170, 180, 185. Do I hear 190? Probably $200 worth of beans we're gonna have to pick up tomorrow. I'm glad it's him with the shovel and not me. These things happen. There's so much stuff to try to remember when you're out here in the field. Kind of like this Westfield auger. They were thinking, put a light underneath there, an LED light. They got an LED light up on top of the auger. We got an LED light facing the hopper, which is really nice. I think there's another light here. Yeah, there's another light on the side of this auger facing down.
All right, guys, get ready for the sun.
And I'll come down there. I gotta drive to north.
Sun went down and we got a lot of green stems and you can just feel the dampness on them. You can just make a whole different stop.
When you get a whole bunch of beans bunched up like this, it basically turns into rope. That's all wrapped in there nice, and for some reason our reverser that's on here doesn't seem like it wants to kick in. So we're gonna do what anyone would do. Ah, the old pile of shame.
Well, on our combine, we were out in the field, Cooper was, and the head plugged up, but we think it plugged up from the dampness. We're not 100% sure. But then when we started things back up, it just sounded like, in this big gearbox here, like clink, 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 a little bit, clink, clink. Well, not 100% sure. There is a clink in it. Cooper did pull the top We stuck a screwdriver in it. It's got oil in it, but we did pop the oil just to make sure that I didn't forget to change this one last year. Well, then we were talking to our mechanic, Ryan, and he told us it's supposed to be like an 880, 140 or something hydraulic synthetic oil. I'm thinking I went by what we were supposed to put in it last year, but we only ran like 30 acres through it. So even if we would have put regular oil in it, it would not take this gearbox out. So I don't know if it's been making noise before and we just didn't hear it, and then we were standing beside it, we heard it, so now it's making us a little nervous. The gearbox was really hot. So we're gonna call around in the morning, see if we can find a new gearbox for this. And if we can find one quick, we'll take it off, put it on. If we can't, and if we gotta order it, we're thinking about putting the right oil back in it, seeing if it runs. You know, if it runs for a day, so be it. I don't know, it's just weird.
It's 11 o'clock at night now, so I'm gonna get some rest. I gotta get up early, working on another video and see if we can get some more stuff done. But thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.